We've got 3 Sylvesters in a row next, and we have our own little overview here, covering 3 different aspects of his character. Speaking of that, where's the Sylvester Jr. and Hippity Hopper already? Jumpin Jupiter came out on August 6, 1955 by Jones and Maltese. This is the finale of the Scaredy Cat trilogy, and another one we just did on Golden Collection Volume 6. I look at this one in a way similar to how Duck Rabbit Duck works in the Hunting trilogy. The first 2 parts, Scaredy Cat and Claws for Alarm, are pretty similar with slight variations, whereas Jumpin Jupiter is a somewhat radical departure in approach while still utilizing the same basic concept. Next is a Tweety and Sylvester, The Last Hungry Cat, released on December 2nd, 1961, directed by Friz Freleng and Hawley Pratt, and written by John Dunn and Dave DeTiche. We did this back on the Hollywood disc of Golden Collection Volume 3, thanks to the Alfred Hitchcock Presents references and overall style. This cartoon is unusual for not featuring any actual chase sequences between Tweety and Sylvester, since the whole point is Tweety's not around anymore. Now, interestingly, this was actually a re-restoration. They had used too much digital noise reduction the first time around. Lastly, for Sylvester is Mexican Borders, which came out on May 12, 1962 by Freleng and Pratt with Just Dunn writing. This was on the Speedy disc from Golden Collection Volume 4 and has the Greg Ford commentary from there brought over here. Now, believe it or not, this was the second of only 2 appearances by Slowpoke Rodriguez. Little guy made a real impact. We really need more Speedies on disc 2 going forward, guys. Mouse Menace was released on November 2nd, 1946, directed by Art Davis and written by George Hill and Hubie Karp. We did this one with Hilarious Ham, the Porky Pig Superstars disc. Porky's home is invaded by a clever mouse who torments him and proves impossible to catch or evict, so the pig resorts to a robot cat to catch him. This is Davis's first completely original cartoon. He'd previously done some finishes on ones that Bob Clampett had left undone. This cartoon looks clean overall, but not as crisp as some of the others. Maybe it's an issue with the negative. Speaking of the negative, the original titles have been found, once again thanks to Thunderbeam, but only in black and white. That may be all we can get these days. Another Art Davis is Next. Odor of the Day came out on October 2nd, 1948. This one written by Lloyd Turner. This is the one that has been lumped in with the Pepe Le Pew cartoons, hence its appearance on his Superstars disc. Even though he's more like a random skunk than our amorous animal, but there are model sheets which do have him listed as Pepe, so who are we to argue? The dog here is Wellington, the same one who was in Doggone Cats from the year before. An Orphan was released on August 13, 1949 by Jones and Maltese. This is the third of the Porky Pig Charlie Dog trilogy, and like Jumpin Jupiter, it plays with the formula more than the previous ones. Here, the story is set out on a farm as opposed to the city, which Charlie uses to his advantage in this scene, and we know how it ends. This is another one that was on Golden Collection Volume 6 originally. We go back to Hilarious Ham for another Art Davis, The Pest That Came to Dinner, which came out on September 11th. Odd placement for that date, considering the previous cartoon. 1948, once again written by Hill and Karp. Porky's peaceful evening is disrupted by a termite who proceeds to eat through everything wooden in Porky's house, including the furniture, floors, and support beams. The restoration on the cartoon itself looks fine, but the titles look awful. I mean, just look at this. As mentioned, like with the Bugs Bunnies, I'm going to group all the Roadrunners together at the end. So next up is Scent-imental Over You, which came out on March 8, 1947, done by Jones and Maltese. This was the second Pepe Le Pew cartoon. Odor of the Day would be third. This began to refine his personality a little bit compared to the first one, and this time the female eventually becomes a more willing participant, but only after a bit of a sneak.
I am stupid, no?
However, the model sheets for this cartoon has him listed as Stinky and the short originally titled Forever Ambushed. The new things you find out every day. Wagon Heels was released on July 28, 1945, directed by Bob Clampett and written by Warren Foster. Though remember, this is practically a shot-for-shot remake of Clampett's 1938 cartoon Engine Trouble. It's also the one that first appeared on Golden Collection Volume 5, then showed up again on the Hilarious Ham Superstars disc. If this is here, there's no reason for Nothing But the Tooth not being on one of these soon. The last 2 on the disc have Daffy Duck, First is Quackers, which came out on January 1st, New Year's Day, 1949, directed by Freeling and written by Ted Pierce. This was on the Frustrated Fowl Superstars disc originally, and since it was from the 40s, it didn't have any widescreen issues. This is the one where Daffy offers himself as Elmer's slave to save himself. That alone kept it out of syndicated rotation, but it's also kind of its own thing. Like, take a look at Elmer's outfit here. There's also one thing I just caught since we did all the Tom and Jerry's. Look at one of the names here in the opening. Yep, Pete Burness shows up here. He actually did quite a lot of work for Warner's in 1948 through 1950, being used by all three directorial units, Jones, Freeling, and McKimson. Davis had disbanded by that point. His Warner's work was still premiering as his UPA-directed shorts were coming out, like the first Mr. Magoo Ragtime Bear. Last on the disc is You Were Never Duckier, released on August 7, 1948, directed by Jones and written by Pierce. Daffy disguises himself as a rooster to enter a poultry show with a $5,000 prize. But Henry Hawk tries to catch Daffy, believing him to be a chicken, and bringing him home to his father, who Daffy is thrilled to meet since he's such a great judge of chickens, until he realizes what they plan to do with him. This cartoon showcases Jones' edition of Daffy's greedy side and his willingness to go to great lengths for money. Eric Goldberg's commentary from Golden Collection Volume 5 is ported over. Now, this was the second and last time Jones used Henry in a starring role, though he did make an appearance in The Scarlet Pumpernickel.